Hello everyone, I am Frank. Let's talk today. The past and present of Central Park in New York. Prologue, the secrets of the prosperous core. New York's Central Park, this 843-acre oasis of precious land. Known as Manhattan's back garden. In the eyes of ordinary tourists, this is nature's gift. Escape from the hustle and bustle of the blissful land. But in the eyes of historians and urban planners, it is one of the largest, the cruelest public political experiment ground in modern human history. In this artificial soil, explosive rock, and forcibly excavated lakes, how many hidden lands are there? Interest game, absurd prank, the democratic blood and tears of the first generation of free blacks, the migration of ancient engineering across the millennia, a masterpiece of a generous philanthropist, the death of a music celebrity, and deeply reconstructed, the vindication of the judicial process in modern America. Today, we will completely tear apart the exquisite, the veil of the travel video, with rigorous historical time as the latitude and longitude take you to Central Park for 2 centuries. Secret archives and the historical throes. Act 1, Geopolitical game and the erased community. The first location of Central Park and the demise of Seneca Village. 1. Behind the scenes of the first site selection, the forced abandonment of Jones Woodlands in the mid-19th century with the blowout of American industrialization. A densely populated metropolis like New York, people need a close contact with nature. A place for healing. Therefore, following the example of existing parks in France and England, the call for a large park came into being. 1851. Ambrose Kingsland, then mayor of New York City. The site plan for the park was officially submitted. A 160-acre parcel known as Jones Woodlands. It sits on the banks of the East River, covered with dense virgin forest. It was built by the park, preferred place, but the proposal immediately triggered an internal Manhattan. Major real estate oligarchs. Crazy games with political factions. Opponents lash out. Think the park was built on the remote East River. It's a selfish act without foresight. The park must stand in the geometric center of Manhattan. At the same time, vow to defend private property to the death. Old brands along the East River. Landlords also hire top lawyers. A lengthy legal tug-of-war with the city government. This showdown over forced eminent domain eventually detonated an unconstitutional lawsuit. July 21, 1853, the New York State Legislature officially signed the bill. Determined that the park could also be located in the very center of Manhattan. That area was originally regarded as no commercial development value, rocks and swamp wasteland. With the subsequent court ruling that the East River land acquisition case was unconstitutional, Jones Woodland is out. And this 778-acre central wilderness became the undisputed choice of fate in New York. And this is where Central Park is today. 2. The destruction of Seneca Village. But what the government and real estate developers call wasteland, it is more than 1,600, home to the bottom fringe of New York. In this rocky land, once stood New York's first freedom. Wealthy middle-class community founded by blacks. Seneca Village. 1825. Andrew Williams, a 25-year-old African-American shoeshine, smashed down $125 of hard, bought the first 3 plots of land here. By 1855, it has developed into a city with 3 churches, 2 schools and an exquisite community of about 225 blacks. A refined community of Irish and German immigrants. They lived side by side, with an extremely high rate of title ownership. It even broke the deeply ingrained racial divide. Yet the bulldozers of urban sprawl roared to rationalize forced relocation. July 9, 1856, the New York Daily Times and other media launched a smear campaign. Publicly own this. Decent villages with legal title. Demonized as dirty shanties ruled by pigs and goats. 1857. New York State Supreme Court signs confirmation report. The government forcibly exercises eminent domain. Due to the New York State election law at the time, African American men must own a property of more than $250, have the right to vote. This forced demolition not only deprived them of their property, it also instantly erased Manhattan's precious, the democratic rights of voting black elites. As for the poor, who rent, the compensation received is even more icy zero. At the end of 1857, the village of Seneca was completely razed to the ground. In the long years that followed, their names, and the official history of Central Park, wiped out. Act 2. The Great Greensward Conception. Olmsted and Vaux 3 in 3 out. 1. Joining forces of genius. Birth of the Greensward Plan. 1857. The newly formed Central Park Commission is seeking optimal solution. Held the first landscape design in American history. Open. Out of 33 entries. Number 33. Buzzer in the final minutes. Submitted proposals stand out. This is what Olmsted and drawn by Vaux. The Greensward Plan. The two designers' conception of the park at the time, very revolutionary. Vaux insists that nature comes first, the philosophy of architecture after. Olmsted was convinced. Green space is a democratic sanctuary of class equality. They want to be on this ruin, rebuilding the pure English romantic landscape. In order to allow citizens to walk, completely free from the hustle and bustle of city cars and horses, they designed the genius sunken lateral channel. The 4 traffic arteries that will cross the park, hidden beneath the horizon. At the same time, the sidewalk, horse driveway and riding path are vertically separated by height difference. This means that no matter how prosperous Manhattan is in the future, as soon as you step into the park, the steel hustle and bustle around, it will completely disappear from your sight. 2. Thrilling, 3 in, 3 out, and tragic departure. However, the construction of Central Park became a historic event in New York, the dirtiest hotbed of political spoils. Olmsted and Vaux as to high-level artists. Over the next 30 years, encountered New York, notoriously corrupt political clique, the brutal persecution of the Tammany Hall. In the construction of the park, experienced a tragic fate of 3 in and 3 out. 1 in, 1 out. 1858. The two serve as chief architects and consulting architects, entering the construction site in high spirits, but soon, they found that the committee was full of political minions. Embezzled public funds, forcibly altered drawings. Angry Olmsted, unwilling to compromise, resigned in 1861 to participate in the logistical health work of the Civil War. Vaux was also in 1863. He resigned because he couldn't stand the bureaucracy. 2 in and 2 out. The Civil War ended in 1865. The New York City government, due to the outcry of the citizens, I had to invite the two masters back, host the full resumption of the park. However, by 1870, the king of corruption in New York history, Boss Tweed takes control of New York's finances. He forcibly dissolved the original committee, placed his own cronies, Olmsted and Vaux, refusing to bow to Tweed's black money politics. Both were fired again. 3 in and 3 out had resigned completely. By the end of 1871, Tweed corruption syndicate falls. The two masters were invited back for the 3rd time, but the New York government at this time, it has been completely reduced to a tool for the exchange of interests. 1878, the committee saves money and implements nepotism. Deprived Olmsted of management again. Frustrated Olmsted published a famous open letter, angry at New York politicians for trampling on public art, leaving New York for Boston forever, while Calvert Vaux stayed in New York. Its fate is even more tragic. November 19, 1895. A foggy morning, this one is struggling alone in New York, trying to protect Central Park, a 71-year-old man protected from commercial encroachment, while walking along the banks of the Brooklyn River, bizarrely drowned. Officials ruled it an accident, but his friends and family knew. He was caught up in the political struggles of this ruthless city. Totally exhausted, he threw himself into the river without hesitation. Woohoo! To overall designers. In the end, they failed to be here by their own hands, In the created green world, get even a day of peace. Act 3. The hoax of the 1874 Central Park animal escape. This Central Park Zoo escape hoax. One of the craziest in the history of American journalism. One of the most successful absurd public opinion pranks. Monday, November 9, 1874. Mainstream newspaper with a huge circulation in New York at the time, New York Herald. An entire page published an extremely detailed pictorial breaking news. Terrible disaster. Wildlife escapes from Central Park. Manhattan descends into bloody carnage. The article vividly describes a furious rhino is the first to smash the iron cage. Trampled the keeper to death. And then there was a domino effect. Ferocious lion, hounds, leopards, and tigers escape one after another. Bengal tigers on Fifth Avenue. Babysitters and children who bit to death. Rhinos killed the caretaker. 49 beasts are on the streets of Manhattan, biting citizens. All morning that day, New York City was paralyzed. Citizens stood guard at the door with shotguns. Shops are closing. Many public schools were forced to close. All the police who canceled their vacation even nervously shot stray dogs on the street. The embarrassment of celebrities. It is said that the famous circus tycoon at the time, P.T. Barnum, this one for a lifetime, relying on playing pranks in The Fake Mermaid's deceptive grandfather. I was also terrified when I saw the newspaper early in the morning, immediately grab a shotgun and rush out of the house, in a hurry to protect his own private life in New York. Exotic animal property. And the reason for this is that, for a long time, the makeshift zoo in Central Park. At first, it was just the citizens. Donated pet gathering place. Not only are the cages old, and lack of professional security, it's just a hidden danger that could explode at any time. The newspaper reported this many times, but to no avail. So, the editor-in-chief of Connolly gritted his teeth. Decided to use a method that was extremely avant-garde at the time. It could even be said to be a 19th century version of fishing. Social experiment approach. Since you don't listen to advice, then don't blame me for scaring you to death. After getting boss James Gordon Bennett Jr. After the approval, that's where it started. To avoid accusations, the Herald deceives its readers. Editors were fully prepared. Anyone who has read this article entitled, A Shocking Sabbath, Carnival of Death, article person, will find that's cleverly hidden in the last few lines of the newspaper. Disclaimer. Of course, the above is purely fictional. Not a single word is true. The worst disaster in history. It is often composed of some caused by insignificant reasons. Afterwards, some readers who are not too concerned about the matter said that he most appreciated the last sentence. Governor Dix shoots a Bengal tiger in the street. Can you imagine Governor Patterson doing this? But the rival in the same city, the New York Times, angry about it, a succession of editorials attacked the gimmick. The New York Times article claims that this not only violates professional ethics of journalists and due respect for the public, but also violates the basic moral bottom line. And here's the interesting thing. Despite being scolded, Connolly's purpose finally reached only this scare. The City of New York and the Parks Commission no longer dare to neglect. Start honestly funding to reinforce the cage. Central Park Zoo. Safety management is also on the right track as a result. Coincidence of history. In 1938, more than half a century after this storm, a replica of this event has been staged again. At that time, Orson Welles put on the radio. War of the Worlds was adapted to much like real news. This led Americans to mistakenly believe that Martians really landed on Earth. For a time, the social order was in chaos. People were scrambling to run in all directions, and Welles did it the next morning. At the press conference, pretending to be extremely innocent, confused, sign, expression, although the public is angry. But RKO, Hollywood. But at a glance, I fell in love with this, which can bring the United States, a 23-year-old genius toyed with applause. Immediately gave him an unprecedented, privileged director contract. 3 years later, Welles made the first masterpiece in film history, Citizen Kane. Friends who are interested in this, take the time to find out. When everyone knew for the first time, when the Martians attacked Earth, people panicked, and the funny scene of hugging the head and running. Act 4. Time and space migrations across millennia. Cleopatra obelisk. 1880. There's an Egyptian obelisk in Central Park, also known as Cleopatra's Needle. This obelisk is over 3,500 years old. It weighs 220 tons and is 21 meters high. It's Aswan red granite boulders. Located behind the Metropolitan Museum of Art's, also Central Park so far, the oldest man-made structures, approximately 1,450 BC. This 71-foot-tall granite monument by the Egyptian pharaoh, chiseled from the bedrock by Thutmose III. It was carved along with another obelisk, guarding the vicinity of Cairo. One in Hil Temple, 200 years later. The conceited Sith II of Latin America carved his name and title on it. This obelisk and its sister monument, standing in Heliopolis for 1,500 years. Through the rise and fall of a dozen pharaonic dynasties and countless foreign invasions, then Queen Cleopatra of Egypt ordered, "Move the obelisk to Alexandria." Standing in memory of her late lover, the entrance to the temple built by Julius Caesar. However, before this pair of historical giant needles has completed their relocation, the legendary queen, under the pressure of the Roman army, suicide. Fortunately, her grand plan did not fail. Ultimately, Caesar's grand founding emperor of the Roman Empire, Octavian Augustus, was finally completed in 12 BC. This is also their future generations, misnamed Cleopatra, the only historical origin of the obelisk. In order for the obelisk to be able to stable on a badly worn base, the Roman emperor sent someone to build a set of 4 bronze crabs weighing up to 900 pounds each. Engraved with the year 12 BC, the sister of this obelisk, after a life-threatening sea storm, finally arrived in the UK. And 2 years ago, in 1878, standing on the banks of the River Thames in London, England, Victoria Embankment. In order to make this ancient Egyptian artifacts dating back nearly 3,500 years can integrate into London, the British cast it on both sides of its pedestal. 2 massive bronze sphinxes. Interesting historical outfits. That year, when the British installed these 2, made a common-sense mistake. The ancient Egyptian sphinx, you stand as a gatekeeper, face out. But these 2 in London were reversed. Now they are both stared at the one in the middle. The obelisk they were supposed to protect. Wow. At that time, American industrial production, wealth and military power are in the catching up with Europe. Some people think an obelisk, it will help to enhance the city's image. Therefore, Egyptian Khedive Ismail Pasha, in order to win over the Western powers, directly engaged in obelisk diplomacy. After some clever diplomacy, the sister of the London obelisk was gifted to the United States. After another heated argument, and finally decided to put the obelisk in Central Park, behind the Metropolitan Museum of Art, on the Gray Hill. Railroad tycoon William Henry Vanderbilt, sponsor alone, wrote a check for $103,732 directly. In 1880, that was an astronomical sum, purchasing power equivalent to millions of dollars today. This is the ultimate challenge of modern engineering. Engineer Henry Honeychurch Geringe used a trick called slutty operation. A wonder in the history of engineering. He bought it's an old Egyptian steam freighter. He smashed a big hole in the bow to push the stone tablet over. He used Navy Gannon shells as a ball bearing to reduce friction. This is definitely his genius invention. Just let the 220-ton behemoth to slide smoothly into the cabin. Shipping across the Atlantic took only 38 days. But from the West Side Pier in Manhattan, just a few kilometers overland, to Central Park. But it took nearly 5 months. Because the obelisk is too heavy. The road can't take it. Workers need to lay temporary railway tracks, dragged with a steam winch. You can only crawl a few meters or tens of meters a day. While crossing the Central Park crosswalk, it was even encountered by a rare blizzard. But the most annoying thing is, New Yorkers at the time, there is a cult of memorabilia. During shipping, the obelisk pauses. At night, someone will hit with a hammer. Stone tablet corner. Leads to the edge of the base of the obelisk. Severely damaged. The New York Police Department finally had to send a special person. 24/7 armed guard. This preserved the integrity of the obelisk. Didn't get smashed up before reaching the pedestal. And the Roman era supporting the worn corners of the obelisk. Original crab sculpture. It is now in the collection of the Metropolitan Museum of Art for new crab sculptures, each weighing about 900 pounds. In 1881, in New York, at the dedication of the obelisk in Central Park, engineers and the city of New York, under the stone of its enormous pedestal, hidden in secret is an extremely rich time capsule. People at that time hoped that through these collections, to the future of humanity thousands of years from now, show the late 19th century, the civilization of the United States of America, technology and style. If you are interested in this lead, interested in the contents of the sealed capsule, you can check it online yourself. What's inside will definitely surprise you. If that wasn't amazing enough, you can check the sister monument in London again. The time capsule under the pedestal. The British collection is sure to leave you jawed. If you don't believe, I dare to eat my hat on the spot. Act 5. The Miracle of Life of the Polar Snow Dog. Balto and the Degret Race of Mercy. In late 1925, a special building was erected in Central Park. Animal statue. It belongs to the hero dog Balto. Here it is. Recorded a paragraph. The true miracle of racing with life and time. Now, the head of the dog Balto. It has been touched brightly by the hands of children. It was January 1925. Alaska, USA remote. A deadly diphtheria epidemic broke out in the small town of Nome. At that time, as the Arctic blizzard was raging, the plane was grounded. Port freezing. And the life-saving serum was 674 miles away. In this extreme weather, only dogs can do this heavy task. So, 20 guides and more than one sled dog on call. In the freezing cold of minus 50 degrees, launched the life and death relay known as the Great Race of Mercy. This would have taken time. A long snowy road for more than half a month. Finally, this group of creatures ran wild day and night. It took only 5 days and 7.5 hours, 127.5 hours, to be completely conquered. In the process, 12-year-old meritorious old dog, Togo led a team across ice tracks, taking on the most dangerous, the longest 260 miles, and at the age of only 3, as the lead dog of the last stick, in a blizzard with complete loss of visibility, navigate intuitively. On the morning of February 2nd, 1925, Balto crushed the ice and snow with his worn paws, delivered the serum to its destination intact. In recognition of the great contributions of these human friends, people carved this bronze statue of the same size. It was inaugurated on December 15th of the same year. Balto also personally attended his statue unveiling ceremony. Watching humans will endurance, loyalty, wisdom is carved under its feet. This is not just a dog. It is an eternal monument to selflessness and life-saving. Because of the space, we will channel the generosity of philanthropists and terrorist attacks, the rebirth of ruins, the assassination of famous musician Lennon, and the injustice of the Central Park 5. Put it on the next episode. Okay. See you in the next episode.